Welcome to another great edition of The Forum. I'm your host, Sheila Evans. Our show highlights interesting and important achievements, programs, and events within our school system and community. We have 3 great interviews on today's show. First, we'll talk with Eimer Smith. She recently won a big award from the United Way of the Cape Fear. We'll discuss that with her and her role as Child Nutrition Director. Then we'll chat with Laney High School student Grace Holcomb. She's having a great year golfing at Laney and recently competed in California. And finally, we'll sit down with Forest Hills teacher Andy Webb. She will tell us about her time in Washington, D.C. and a few recent awards that she won along the way. It's an exciting edition of The Forum. We'll get started right after this short break.
It's Timothy Green's first day at school.
What's in there? He's about to fall over.
Anything he might need. There's a box of tissues on the bottom and some Band-Aids. There's a whole first aid kit, actually.
Mom, I can handle it from here.
You don't have to be perfect
Have a great day.
That's too much pressure.
Have the day you have.
to be a perfect parent.
There are 2 people in the world who want you more than anything. They'll make some mistakes, but they will love you more than you can ever imagine.
There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
I'm joined by Eimer Smith. She's Director of Child Nutrition for Hanover County Schools, and she is here today to talk about the United Way of the Cape Fear Hero Award. Well, Eimer, congratulations. Tell us a little bit about this award.
Well, it was a big surprise to me. It was a wonderful night, and as you can see, we were presented with a blue cape because the theme was a night of heroes.
Nice.
And it was just a fabulous night of just showing off and representing New Hanover County, and there were 9 other candidates that were a part of this Cape Fear Heroes from Pender and Brunswick. But I was very thrilled to be a part of this and to be nominated and win the award for this area. And there were I think there were 2 other people from this area that won the award, but there were some magnificent people that just did amazing things in the community. And you know, I didn't really think that I was the Cape Fear hero. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feed children, and I think that, you know, just going a little bit beyond what you're doing. And every summer I do look at how can I reach more of the, you know, children in the community. And through United Way, that's their mission, is to reach local people. Let's see who we can help with the resources that we have. So summer food service was a big, one of the factors of receiving this award, and we were able to feed over 40,000 children. Wow. You know, last summer, and 23 different sites. So every summer I'm looking for new sites to be able to help children, feed them Monday through Friday. We do have breakfast and lunch at some sites, lunch at all sites. We do have a mobile site, which is Royal Palms, where we go for a minimum of 30 minutes because it does get hot in the summer. So we do have, you know, we have a driver, there's picnic tables, we have children that will come and eat a lunch with us.
And I want to brag about, it's not just feeding the children, you have activities built in a lot of sites, don't you?
We do. We encourage, you know, whoever our site area people are, that we encourage them to incorporate some type of activities. So there are, you know, we have lots of volunteers that will either read with the children, do puzzles, color, just do activities outside. One of my focuses for next summer is to get some organizations to, let's get the kids mobile. Let's get them active outside. I'm going to try to get jump ropes, frisbees, balls, where kids can actually go outside and play like we used to play.
Right.
And also, let's incorporate maybe some dental health in the ball game. Let's incorporate some bike safety. Let's do some things that we can teach children also, either before we feed them or after we feed them. So every summer I'm looking for organizations to come in, be a part of our feeding program, because we do have a captured audience of children, and then let's teach them something. It is a great way to continue the education. I think that, you know, hunger never takes a vacation, so during the summertime we're feeding children. I'm always trying to, where can I reach out to? Where can I find more children throughout the community?
And you put a lot of effort into strategically having sites placed, correct?
We do. There are 3 other sponsors in New Hanover County, so I try not to go in their area, but I do, like, I'm already starting now looking for new sites in the community, because I have found pods that I'm just not reaching. So we are looking at new areas in New Hanover County, and I do believe that, my goals will surpass the 40,000 that I've did last summer.
Do you recall what you did the first year?
Oh, the first year, I do recall that we had about 15 sites. We probably fed maybe 500 a day, 400 to 500 a day. So we have gone beyond that.
Holy
but
cow.
I want to keep growing, and with this, also with this Cape Fear Hero, I do. There's just so many things that people in the community can do, and there's groups of. I'm a part of different organizations in New Hanover County that I do try to believe that we can do something in this community. I'm not born here, but I've been raised here in New Hanover County, so I do believe that I need to give back to the community. They've been so good to me, and I believe that, that there are things, you can always give back.
Well, I love the idea of next year, maybe dental health,
Right.
expanding some of that so that the structure beyond the meal is there.
Right.
And educational.
And education.
And learning by fun.
That's right. And then last summer we did incorporate the library into one of our sites. So I'm hoping to grow that with other libraries in New Hanover County, and they had a wonderful time.
Oh, good. I was going to say, do you generally find people responsive?
I do. They'll call me. I try to get, way ahead of the game, starting now. Usually after, in January, we will start looking for more sites, or people will start calling me to check out their sites. And so it is a growing target for us to be able to partner with other organizations in New Hanover County.
Gotcha. So you said that someone nominated you. Were you able to see what that nomination form looked like, and maybe what was included beyond the summer food program?
I did, and actually it was Eddie Anderson. He's
Okay.
the Assistant Superintendent of
Andy
Operations,
Anderson.
and he is just a great boss. And when he told me, I just had to stop there for a minute and just say, wow, thank you. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I didn't know that I had meant that much to New Hanover County, and he nominated me for this award.
Very nice, very nice. Well, I'm sure that the summer food program will be bigger and better than it was last year with you steering the ship.
Oh, thank you.
We'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages. Good deal.
Well, I first started skating with my friend. He had an extra board, and then he just gave it to me, and I've been skating ever since. Well, when I don't land a trick and I have my mind set on something, and I'm not getting what I want, I just keep going for it until I get it right. My mom, she didn't go to college, so she wants me to experience that whole thing, and so I could end up getting like a good job. I think to get into college, I'll have to be determined, just like when I want to get a new trick, and skating's helped me realize I've got what it takes.
I am joined by a Laney Buccaneer named Grace Holcomb. She's a junior at Laney. She is here to talk about some time she spent at Pebble Beach playing with Sandy Lyle. So Grace, tell us about this trip.
Yeah, so because I'm part of the first tee, I did an application to send myself there, and if I got picked, I would be able to go for free, basically. And it's really hard to get in, so I was like, well, if I get in, it's great. If not, I can try again next year. And I did, and I couldn't believe it. And so
So what did you have to do with the application? Did you have to write why you wanted to go and
Yeah.
have people write your recommendations?
Yeah.
So was that intense?
pretty much, yeah, it was almost like a college application. It was
Gotcha.
crazy. I had to do several essays and short answer questions, and then all of my volunteer hours and a lot of other things.
Gotcha. So how old were you when you started golfing?
I was 4,
Okay.
yeah, and I was around 6 or 7 when I started doing tournament golf.
Wow. So your parents had to drag you all over the place at that age with your golf clubs.
Luckily, when I was 6 and 7, it was around locally, so.
Gotcha. So tell us about Pebble Beach.
Yeah, it was insane. When I first walked up to the clubhouse and saw like the 18th hole, it was, my mouth dropped. I was like, this is insane. I can't believe I'm here. Because I found out in, I think, July that I was going to be able to go. So for those 2 or 3 months, I was like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't believe it until I got there. It was crazy.
So who went with you?
My mom and my dad came, and also the First Tee organization.
Okay. So you get there, you go to the clubhouse. Did you know who you were playing with before you got there?
No, so they had a party, I guess, for a pairings party.
Pairings party, yeah.
Yeah, and all the kids, there were about 80 of us, and we all
Oh,
opened
wow.
a card at the same time, and then they came over to us. And he was like, hi, I'm Sandy. I was like, hi.
So cool, so cool. How do you juggle golf and school?
Yeah, it's kind of hard, but I've gotten used to it because during the year, I'm sometimes missing like Fridays and stuff to leave for a tournament for a practice round, so I've gotten used to it. But during golf season, I miss like 1 or 2 days a week maybe, especially during like the off season for regionals and states. But I just have to get my work ahead of time and just know what I'm going into for that week and just try to
And you're
get
taking some
everything
AP
done.
classes?
Yeah,
So
one.
that must be difficult to miss.
Yeah.
Remind me, is women's golf a fall or spring?
Fall.
Okay, so.
Yeah, we
okay.
just finished.
Gotcha. So at that point, you were missing maybe a day or 2 a week.
Yeah.
So that's a lot to catch up on. Yeah. But one of your classes is online, correct?
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
that helps a little bit. Tell us about what your best score has been on 18 holes.
So this summer, I shot a 70 at the Muni.
70?
Yeah.
At the Muni?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was for a Taiga tournament, and I got first, so.
Okay. So you just told me it was fall season. The season's over.
Yeah.
How did Lainey make out?
We won the conference,
Nice.
and during the conference championship, I got first with a 72. And then since we won, we were able to go to regionals, and then 2 of our girls were able to advance from regionals to states, and I got 10th at states, so.
Nice. Nice. And
Yeah.
you're a junior, so next year you can do even better than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
So do you want to play in college?
Yeah, for sure. I really want to.
Do you have any prospects on where you want to go, or you'd rather not say?
I'd rather not say.
Okay.
I'm keeping my options open.
Well,
but
that is the best answer.
yeah.
So what else keeps you busy?
I like hanging out with my friends and my family, and I play the violin too, so I do that at school as well.
Very nice.
But-
Now you said one part of your application was to write down about your volunteering.
Yeah.
Where do you volunteer?
I volunteer a lot at the First Tee with their girls golf program and also like their classes, and I really enjoy helping them because I once was them younger, and now they can see me and see the opportunities they can do as well.
So you have a real opportunity to be a mentor.
Yeah. It's so fun. I love it.
That's got to feel good. Now you can't do this trip again, can you?
No.
Okay.
A long time ago, you could have gone once twice, but not anymore.
Is the First Tee program bigger now than it was when you started?
When I was younger, it was big, but then they folded like the summer after I joined for a summer camp, and then they didn't have it for a while. And then I guess like 5 or 6 years ago, they started to do it again, and just recently it started to get really big, and I'm proud of it.
Do you see a lot more participation from girls?
Yeah, there's been, like when I help at the girls golf program, that's just girls, and there could be like 20 or 30 at one thing, so it's crazy, and they're all small too.
That's how you started out too
Yeah,
at 4
yeah.
years old. So you really see maybe an advent of girls' participation growing in golf?
Yeah, for sure, especially when I go to the tournaments that I go to. There could be like 70 or 80 girls in one field. It's crazy.
Wow. What do you think you might want to major in college?
I'm thinking about either biomed or like business. They're completely different things,
They
but
are.
I don't know yet.
Sure. I mean, you might not know till you even graduate
Yeah.
from college. Well, congratulations on winning that opportunity to go to Pebble Beach. There
Thank
are a
you.
lot of people in this town that would be very envious, I'm sure, and a lot of folks that have to be envious that you shot a 70 at the Muni.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll be back in just a few minutes right after these messages.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
I am joined by Andy Webb. She is a teacher and instructional coach for Forest Hills Global Elementary. And she's won a few awards lately, and she's going to fill us in on some of those. The first one, tell me about the Albert Einstein Distinguished Educator Fellowship.
So it is a fellowship that's open for any teacher in the country who has at least 5 years of experience and is a STEM teacher.
Oh, okay.
So it's an 11-month fellowship that has partnerships in Congress and in different federal agencies. So I've lived the last year in DC working in the House of Representatives.
Very good. So how did you get to Wilmington?
Well, I graduated from UNCW.
Okay.
And I was looking to do something a little different when I finished the fellowship. So I was hired here, and that's what brought me here.
Where were you before the fellowship?
I've been in Cumberland County for 19 years.
Oh, okay. So this is not too far from that.
No,
but very different than Washington, D.C., I'm sure.
Very different.
What was your role during the fellowship?
I was a congressional fellow, and I was assigned to a committee, and it was actually the Education and Labor Committee. And my office was with the chairman. So I worked for the chairman of the Education and Labor Committee, and I worked on different policy and did a lot of research for the committee and then helped with hearings as well. And one of the highlights was working on the teacher recruitment and retention hearing that was held in July.
Did you feel like you were able to have a lot of input in that?
Actually, yes, I
Good.
did. I did feel like I had a lot of input.
What did you learn from the fellowship experience?
I learned that we as teachers need to be much more involved in policy. We need to understand more of how it works because decisions are made that affect us, often by people who have never been in the classroom.
Understood. Now you had another fellowship, a Global Learning Fellowship. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so that is current for this year. I am an NEA Global Learning Fellow, and it's a year-long fellowship that has K-12 teachers that are working throughout the year doing online professional development to do a project so we can learn more about how to incorporate global education into our schools. And then at the end of the year-long, well, slightly less than a year fellowship, then our cohort goes to Peru to work with schools there.
Oh, very cool. So your role has been what you just described?
Basically, yes.
Gotcha. Tell us about the Burroughs Wellcome Fund Career Award for Science and Mathematics teachers.
Yes, in 2015, I was awarded the Burroughs Wellcome Fund CASMAT Award, and what it does is provides the awardees with funds for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm still currently
Nice.
a Burroughs Wellcome Fund Fellow, actually leaving here today to head to a conference with them.
Oh, nice.
But it provides funding at our discretion with Burroughs Wellcome Fund's approval for professional development, instructional materials, and a salary stipend for the 5-year time frame.
Very nice. Do most people teach at the same time as the fellowship? Is that a
Yes,
requirement?
you have to be,
Okay,
yes.
I just didn't know how much the
Yeah.
stipend was. So you've had a lot of recognition lately.
I've worked pretty hard, and what I always try to make very clear is that the majority of the time when I apply for something, I don't get it the first time. So I always try to tell the students I work with to keep trying and persevere because we all experience failure, but we don't need to give up.
Well, what a good lesson. And the Burroughs Welcome being 5 years, is that unusual?
I think there are 25-ish teachers at this point who have received the award in the state. It's open every other year. It's not open this year, but the application's open next year. So to get it, it's a pretty competitive process. There's an application process and then an interview process, and your principal and superintendent are interviewed as well.
Oh, wow.
So I think by the time the awardees do get it, yes, it's pretty rare. But Burroughs Welcome Fund has a commitment to education that is unparalleled to anyone else that I've ever heard of or worked with.
Because a 5-year commitment is pretty substantial, yes?
It is, yes. But their support is pretty substantial as well.
Excellent. What are the benefits of the award? We talked about the stipend. You get the professional development. Is there something else I missed?
Professional development not only for myself, but the teachers in the school, and then instructional materials, not only that we need in the school, but also many materials that teachers want, but there's not usually funds for. So we're pretty much able to directly put materials in the hands of teachers and students.
What kind of advice would you give a first-year teacher at this point?
Breathe. This is a very difficult time of year. Usually at the beginning of the year, first-year teachers are still wearing their rose-colored glasses and they want to change the world, and they can, but they have to take care of themselves too, and it can be a very overwhelming profession, and that part never goes away. But just breathe and lean on those that are willing to support you.
Do you see, I mean, obviously you are widely recognized with all these different awards and fellowships and such. Do you see yourself as a mentor for some folks to look up to? And I really like your example of, with your students, you didn't always get these awards the first time.
Right.
Do you see people seeking you out to like, how did you do that, or looking to you for advice?
I've been really heavily writing grants and applying for fellowships for about 8.5 years now, and about 6-8 months ago, I published a pretty lengthy article that had different links for over 200 fellowships and grants that teachers can apply to. So especially since that has come out, yes, I have had some people seek me out. But what you also learn is there's a small community of teachers that really enjoy doing this, and so we work a lot with each other. So sometimes they'll seek me out, sometimes I seek them out, and we ask each other for advice for things that maybe we're still working towards and other people have gotten. So it works both ways, and I definitely believe in paying it forward if I've been blessed enough to receive awards like this.
Very nice, and what a wonderful opportunity, especially with the people at Forest Hills. You're right there.
Thank
What
you.
else keeps you busy?
Professional development, not just with those, but I really enjoy learning as much as possible. So I'm currently taking 3 online classes. I just went to a workshop actually the last 2 Saturdays, and I took a hiatus from my doctoral work while I was in DC, but that's about to start again. So in about a year and a half, I should have my EDD in educational leadership.
Very good. Handy, you are a busy girl.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for stopping in. Congratulations. And Forest Hills is lucky to have you, and welcome back to Wilmington.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. We'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the Forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. Ooh. So discover the Forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Donate stuff, create jobs.
We hope you've enjoyed our program today. If you ever have any questions about the topics we discussed here on the show, please call the school system's public relations office at 254-4106 or check out the school system's website at www.nhcs.net. I'm Sheila Evans, and thanks for joining me today.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.